Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a spotlight on Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas. This is a game that was developed by Cornfox and Bros. It's available on Steam for about 15 bucks, and it is very much like The Legend of Zelda. Not the old stuff like a lot of people like to do. This is more like Wind Waker, as you can kind of tell by the water. So, let's start off with some of my beefs, because there's one right off the bat. Things I don't particularly like about this game. No option screen on the main menu. No real main menu to speak of. Like, there's really nothing here. I don't understand why people don't put option screens on the main menu. It boggles my mind, but it's not there. You've got other things like, you can like it, thumbs up on Facebook, right on the main fucking screen. Language is useful. It's kind of important, but if you've got a lower end system and this thing doesn't detect your system settings properly, well, you're pretty much fucked. You have to go in, go through the whole intro bullshit, and then adjust your settings. It makes no goddamn sense. Anyway, let's hop in here. And that was not cut. That was the actual loading time. So let's talk about another beef that I have with this. And yeah, we're gonna bitch about the game for the first little bit, and then we'll actually talk about how good it is. So this isn't gonna be just me bitching about the game. There is no... like, they use the thumbstick exclusively on controller, and like, you use your D-pad to change your items. So, as you can see in the upper right corner, they're kind of freaking out. But you use the thumbstick, the analog stick, to actually move. But there is no walking. Like, I have it about 50% moved by now, and nothing. It's not until you get about 80 or 90 that he starts moving. For actually walking around, that's not a huge deal. Although it would be nice to be able to walk and then run. But this isn't a major deal. It's when we get into the boating that it becomes a very large issue. Because you have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. It's just all or nothing. And that's not cool. So, if you were thinking, this game looks so much, almost too much like The Legend of Zelda, that's because it really is. I have no idea what to do with these bugs. I'm assuming I get a bottle eventually and I can, you know, bottle them up. Not sure. There also seems to be, I don't know what this is, but recently, since I've come back to the island, I just had to come back to this island to talk to the little hermit guy over there. All the treasure chests have been resealed and the gate is now closed. Luckily, you continue to have your master key, so you can get through it, but it's a little weird that it continuously closes. I'm not entirely sure why. But, so here we go. This is our boat. So to get on, you just press A and you leave the island. And this is kind of where you would think, okay, it looks like Wind Waker, it probably behaves a lot like Wind Waker. It doesn't. You don't actually get the opportunity to sail the seas. This is how you navigate. You select the island you want to go to, and where is it that I want to go to? I've been to the... no, been to the Great Forest. I don't need the reef. Yeah, Southwind Island. So, you select it again, and now we go. And this is where this becomes a problem, because in order to adjust this, it's just 100% or nothing. You don't have the ability to actually aim. And there's bombs and various obstacles.
Whenever I sail
so
past a
it's one of those things
like
where you
home.
basically want
All
to
this
use your
glory
mouse
Gaia has blessed us with
in order
remains,
to aim.
even after the last man
But
has left this world.
you shouldn't need to. If you're using a controller, you shouldn't need to switch to your mouse and keyboard. for mouse and keyboard controls, and this is actually really nice. You can switch between them without having to adjust any settings. Yeah, listen to that, AAA games. You don't have to adjust any settings. I just put my controller down and started using my keyboard. So, your sword can be used with your mouse, and it becomes more like a twin-stick shooter in that, well, you aim with your mouse. And apparently you can aim really, really far. I had not actually tried that. So, me personally, I'm not a huge fan of using the mouse and keyboard. Okay, that, my friends, is what we call a crash. The game is actually really quite full of them, and it is a major problem. A lot of people are complaining about it. So far, nothing from the developers has been done about it. Not even commenting on the crash thread. I haven't seen them comment at all. Maybe I missed them and they weren't using, like, the developer account. But, yeah. It's not cool. The current fix is... It's not really a fix. The workaround is to disable any overlays you have. So if you're using the Steam overlay... Oh, I was just... smashing things. I didn't even expect it. I thought that was going to do something later. If you have the Steam overlay, you're going to want to disable it. If you don't have the Steam overlay and it still crashes, well, sucks to be you. That's really all I got. I've had to disable Steam overlay and the overlay for my recording software, but I still get crashes every once in a while. That, above all else, that is probably the biggest issue with this game. Above all else. But it's got a lot of little issues. Like, the enemies, they die too slow. Like, it takes them just a few seconds too long to actually, like, blow up, I guess, would be... Yeah, we'll go with blow up. Just a few seconds. A few seconds too long. Which, for the most part, these little gems you get, those just come to you no matter what. But it's not always. Okay, so... Oh, I guess this one. The one I walked right past. Get dead. And then they die, like the flying ones, they die in some weird-ass spots. Sometimes it's completely inaccessible. Sometimes the coins will fall off and, like, land into the water and whatnot. So it can be problematic. Another kind of issue I have with it is the weight. Like, it feels the movement, and I think that a lot of that has to do with partially the speed that he moves at and the way the controls are, where they just don't move until you get basically 90% down. It feels weighty. It feels really, really weighty. To the point where it almost feels like Dark Souls levels of weight, which is not something I expect from an action-adventure game like this. It just feels a little too heavy. But that's really more of a personal preference thing. It's kind of, you know, hit or miss, whether you like it or not. Some people will love it, some people won't. What do we got here? We've got a ship that's of no use. And a bird that just landed in the water. Let's see if we can... Oh, yeah, we can. Okay. There's a little bit of inconsistency as well. Like, you'll notice when I go in here, I get the stamina bar. If I'm inside a dungeon area, there's no stamina bar. If I fall in the water. And I don't think that I'm going to find water here that I can get. Oh. Let's see if I can... Can I... Nope. Okay, so arrow is not the way to deal with that. Now, so far, what I have discovered is, puzzle-wise, there's not a whole lot to it. I know it seems like I'm kind of stumped here, and I am. The puzzles for getting into the dungeon, like just from the island, getting to where you need to go, those are actually quite fun. They're quite puzzling. They generally just involve, you know, hitting the right switch with the right thing. And I think I actually know what I need to do with that. Although I could be wrong. I'm going to try something else. For the most part, once you get into, like, the temple area... Yeah. That worked. Once you get into the temple areas, they're not that difficult. It's basically... You know, you'll get to an intersection... and you have to choose whether to go left or right. If you go right, you'll be hit by a gate. If you go left, you won't be. You'll get a key. Well, you'll find a chest with a key. It's... Oh, and these. You know, you're filled with these. Strange little puzzles. Oh, go away. Stupid bats. The bats are really weird in this. Sometimes they'll attack you, sometimes they won't. I don't need to press that. That's a reset button, just in case you couldn't tell. It resets this puzzle. That, as you saw, was oh so difficult. This is actually effectively the first boss you run into. Only this guy is shorter. And just as hard to kill. It takes less hits for this guy, simply because now I have an actual sword. But, yeah, it's... Oh, I can actually push that. Alright. Whoops. Screwed up. Get dead. Now, on to what is good. Like I've talked about quite a bit about, you know, the flaws that this game has. And it has a few of them. It really does. But this game also has some really, really good points. Like, the animation, the story is about as bland and generic as you might expect it to be. Oh. Okay, this might be the hardest puzzle I've come across. Yeah, enemy AI is a little weird too. Sometimes it just ignores you. Sometimes it runs away from you. Enemy sparsity. Or not sparsity. Enemy amounts, I guess? Like just the sheer number of enemies. Like different varieties. Varieties! That's it. The varieties of enemies is quite lacking. Like, so far I've come across, aside from bosses, 5 different enemies. Oh, there's a little spike thing down there. I didn't see that. Oh, that's not gonna work. Alright. I'm sure there's something to do here. That guy's got a big jar of honey. I'll be honest, I want the big jar of honey. Alright, let's move this over one more. If I drop that down there, I won't be able to do much. Hey, enemies do respawn, which... Oh, god damn it. And you also can't pull the blocks, which is mildly annoying. Okay, so that just falls down. Okay, I was hoping it would sit on there, so that didn't. That is indeed not the way. Alright, let's reset this again. I think this is an optional puzzle, to be honest, so I can just skip it, but it might not be. Let's grab you. Grab you. Go back here. The game itself is quite enjoyable, although I have... Alright, that apparently kills them in one go. Alright, we'll do that. I was kind of hoping to do it without the last block, but whatever. So the puzzles, like, as I said, they're kind of easy, but they're not ridiculously stupid. They're logical, but they're not like have you sit there for 4 or 5 hours looking for it. I found the honey man. Whatever. You also gain levels. So as you can see, I have now gained a level. And I press start, and level! Cast spells now cost 20% less mana. Great, I only have one spell. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do with this. I didn't really read what he said. Get dead. And of course, you can throw things at enemies and hurt them. This is how you hurt a guy. Yeah. So, the game itself is quite fun. It really is. I find it quite enjoyable. For 15 bucks, I think it's a pretty good romp. And that's pretty much it. It's a little slow. It's a little slow. But so is Legend of Zelda, let's be honest. And I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Can I actually... Do I keep that? I'm curious if I still have it. I still have it! Awesome. Okay.
Whenever I sail past a beautiful island like this, I feel hope.
Seriously.
All this glory
I was just here.
Gaia
You were just
has
talking.
with
Shut up.
remains.
Alright, anyway, I think I've pretty much showed what this game has. It really is Legend of Zelda, like right up to, you know, you see how his sword and shield is on his back. It's Legend of Zelda. And it's quite nice. Obviously, I have some complaints about it, but nothing in there is a deal breaker. Nothing's game breaking except the crashing. The crashing is indeed a game breaking thing, and I'm really hoping that they're working on a patch to fix that, because it is rough. It's rough, because I've had it crash in 2 minutes. I've had it crash in 5 minutes. I've had it crash in 10 minutes. I've gone for like an hour without crashing. You know, it's kind of rough. Damn it. Wanted to pick up the honey, not leave. Anyway, I'm going to end it here instead of me constantly going back and forth to the same damn island. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.